How can you transform a typical Polish garden with a huge lawn into a garden full of colorful flowers while still keeping a lawn? Good morning, my dear friends. I warmly welcome you from central Poland near Łódź. Today we're starting a new edition of the Wow Garden 2026 project. I'm in the pod Cypressami garden. In a moment we'll meet the owner of this garden and she will tell us how this garden was created, what has changed about it, what she's most proud of, and what has been a failure. So if you want to stay up to date, of course I encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell and let me know if you were looking forward to this as much as I was. Here she is, my dear friends, all in red, matching the color in her garden, and what kind of garden it is we'll find out in a moment. I can't wait for you to show us everything.
I also warmly welcome you. Please come into the garden. I'll tell you the story of how it was created, how each of my flower beds here came to be.
Please come in. Let's go. We'll take a look and you can tell us about it. So let's get started. Tell us, when was your garden created? How old is it?
20?
20 years?
Yes, he's already, well, so mature.
Mature. And tell me, did you have a vision for this garden from the very beginning, that it would look like this?
No, at first it was supposed to be just green, evergreen shrubs, trees, a gazebo, paths, lots of grass, so the kids would have space to run around.
Exactly. I started this episode by saying that it would be about how to create a beautiful garden with a lawn, and also how to create a garden where there is basically no lawn, but instead there are various kinds of plants. At the front of your garden there's still a patch of that old garden, right? It's arranged a bit differently there. What's there? What's at the front? Why is it like that?
There we went for evergreen forms, lots and lots of clipped shapes. We have a 20-year-old boxwood.
How do you manage with that boxwood?
It's hard.
It's hard.
Now, when the box tree moth attacks you, we have to spray.
Great. And tell me, was this garden created according to some plan or more spontaneously, without a plan, without a plan, without a plan? The best gardens are without a plan. Listen, absolutely. The garden.
It's changeable, just like me. And whatever just comes to my mind, I act on it.
I've already walked around this garden and seen a lot of different areas. So in a moment, we'll get to know these areas because I've counted at least 4 charming, beautiful places to sit in this garden.
There are a few.
Marlena, we're at one of the first flower beds in your garden, right by the entrance. Tell me, what do you have in this flower bed and what is the main plant here throughout the season? What does it look like?
The boxwood is visible throughout the whole season, but there's only one specimen, and most of the plants are perennials. Salvias.
Salvias columbines.
I have columbines, yes, delphiniums, poppies.
I notice roses in the front are starting to bloom. How many do you have? Quite a few?
A lot.
A lot.
More than 50.
More than 50. And listen, I also noticed that it would look nice if we raised this flower bed a bit and you have a lot of different climbers in the garden. But here, there aren't any. There aren't any here. That's why I brought you an obelisk from our partner Jagram. As you said, it fits in well, doesn't it? Yes.
Very well.
What will you plant next to it for climbing?
Viticelle. Yes, Viticelle clematis.
Viticelle clematis from the Italian group. It will cover it beautifully.
It will be beautiful in that purple shade.
Great. Listen, Jagram is one of our partners. That's why we bring Jagram products to every garden. But so it's not just the participants who get such a gift. We have a gift for you too. A 10% discount. So with the code Hubert Lamansky on Jagram's website, you get a discount. And I hope that when we come here in August, something will already be growing here. Yes, it will be growing. Do you promise? Yes? Then we'll hold you to your word. Marina, we're standing by one of the most important flower beds in your garden, just like you said. I'll ask you more about it later, but now I have a question for you. What is the most important plant in your garden?
This cypress, Nootka cypress. I have 2 specimens here. I planted it first 20 years ago.
20 years ago. You said that before there was a house, there were already plants. Tell me, do they require any special care?
Currently, I don't have to take care of it. It looks so beautiful, but at first, watering and fertilizing were a must. It was a must.
Listen, I see these plants in the pendula variety in many gardens, and very often they need some support because, for example, the branches break. Is it the same with this cypress or not? No.
Its branches are stiff, and from those branches, there are smaller ones that hang down so majestically. It doesn't require any maintenance. It doesn't need support. It looks so beautiful.
And it's also, so to speak, a great place where birds love to sit, right?
Yes, it attracts them, especially the taller one. They sit at the top and sing beautifully.
Listen, I'm always impressed when I visit gardens that people come up with so many different things in their gardens. And here at your place, there's a wall right in the middle of the garden, which actually has a different function on one side and another on the other side. In the previous shot, we were sitting on that side and it was fantastic. And on this side, we have a beautiful flower bed. What do you have here against this wall?
Above all, perennials. In the central part, there's masterwort with such a beautiful romantic look. Roma is next to it. My pink yarrow has grown a lot. Pink.
Not yellow, pink, no.
No, not yellow, not yet. It's not that color yet. Annual larkspurs. I hope they'll be white because that was the idea. I also hope the coneflowers will be white, yes.
Here I see columbines, which are adding a bit of color.
Purple.
Yes, yes. Maybe some grasses somewhere right at the very edge. Well, it looks beautiful. Thank you. Let me know if you like this kind of romantic style flower bed against the background of a rather small wall, because it's about 1.5 meters high, maybe not even that much. Notice how nice it looks standing in the garden center. A wall like this can separate 2 garden areas. One side has lovely perennials, the other offers a great seating area. I told you that you have a lot of different nooks like that in your garden. Even though the garden isn't big, because after all, it's only about 12 acres, you've divided it into different sections, and we're in one of those sections on a fantastic bench. Where did this bench come from?
From the neighbor, isn't it? Almost from the neighbor.
Almost there.
Practically from a neighbor, yes. It's not far from here in the village.
You bought it? Yes. Listen, and you have stones on the path, they appeared too.
You said at the very beginning.
And did you do it yourself?
My husband.
My husband did it, that's right. And it's worth noting he helps make these hundreds.
All of them. The hard work is done by my husband, and I do the more romantic, artistic things.
And yes, to make it romantic for the 2 of you, I actually thought that in such a little square it would be great to sit by a small campfire. Would it work here? Very good idea. It will work. Therefore, from our next partner, Allegro, I brought a few gifts. We have a raised fire pit where you can sit by the fire, but I also have some lights here because you have a place to make it even more romantic. Sure.
Let's not have it here yet.
We have to move on, to make it even more romantic. But just so it's not only about sitting here romantically and relaxing, soon we'll be planting bulbs. So here are baskets, so the voles don't eat them. Well,
They're here sadly, are they? Yes.
How will it be? The baskets will protect them? Great. And there's something else, a small bag, about 120, no, more liters small. For the plants that are always in the garden but aren't always welcome, meaning weeds.
Well, there's no shortage of those.
No shortage of them? No, unfortunately. Great. And actually, the most important thing is that when you shop on Allegro, there's now a service called Allegro Pay, where you can even make larger purchases and split the payment into installments or pay, for example, in 30 days. That's a great thing. And that's exactly what I did. I brought it here for you and I'll pay for it later.
Thank you.
Listen, in this spot, like you said, there was a lawn here not long ago, but you decided to make yourself a classic English flower bed. Is that right?
That's right.
So what's in that flower bed? Roses. Tell me about them.
First and foremost, roses, because I can't imagine an English flower bed without roses, but they're accompanied by perennials, lupines, and heucheras, which are blooming so beautifully right now.
Heucheras are fantastic.
Columbines.
Columbines self-seed like crazy, yes.
On their own. Or I help them.
Same, and I spread them. I see some sedum here too, yes.
There are some rhodiola, impressive. Catmint, here are more columbines, but there are also wallflowers, Dame's Rocket.
And a passage like in an English garden, under a small trellis. It must be there.
Actually, a piece up to the delphiniums.
Listen, because I also noticed in your flower bed that besides those classic blooming perennials, there are also plants that are found in many Polish gardens, and lately I've been getting a lot of questions about them. There are funkias, also known as hostas. My beloved ones, so you really like them? Yes?
Beloved.
Listen, if anyone doesn't believe it, I invite you to Marlena's YouTube channel, The Host of Hortus. Yes, it's called the same as Funkiowy Ogrod. And this Marlena shows her garden even more broadly and even more. So I encourage you to visit this channel and see what other plants are here. Because you know, we can't show the whole garden and all its corners, not in just 1 or 2 episodes. So it's a good idea to click there and go in. There are things you've been thinking about for a long time, and it's always the case that someone has some wishes. Do you still have, or did you have until recently, any wishes that you wanted to fulfill in the garden?
That was a dream.
A dream, a kind of wish, and was that it?
A little girl's dream, fulfilled. I wanted to have a wooden house, a wonderful one, tiny. And since I grew up a bit, now I have a little garden shed.
Oh.
Beautiful, practical for tools made by my husband. It's located in the vegetable part.
Ah, so your husband made this too? Everything, yes. Wow, it's really good to have a husband who can do everything. When I visit these gardens, very often the husbands are somewhere in the background, but they're always helping with everything.
They work here?
They do. You say it's unfinished since there are no hooks or glass panes yet?
Yes, there are no glass panes yet, but there will be in the window, here in the door, and inside there will be shelves, hooks, yes, for tools.
So will it be ready next time we come by? It will be. It will, yes. And generally it's fenced with a little fence, and here we have a mini vegetable area, yes.
Mainly to keep the dogs out.
Oh, right, because you have dogs here, that's true. They run around and so they don't get in here, yes?
The little fence was put up to protect the vegetables.
I really like it, thank you. Especially because it's separated from the rest of the garden so unexpectedly, and really, well, it already looks good. I'm thinking about how it's going to look inside, how nice it will be when everything is arranged, but we'll see that when we come here in summer. June is a time of abundance in the garden because everything starts to bloom, starts to grow really well, but it's also the time when we need to support our plants. So what do you pay the most attention to in the garden in June? What do you think needs to be done? Oh.
I fertilize.
You fertilize.
First, so they'll later reward you with beautiful blooms.
Now is the time for what? For fertilization.
Roses.
First of all, right?
Right. I have to fertilize them because I fertilized them for the first time in early spring, and now I'm going to do the second fertilization. And also the annuals, Surfinias, Supertunias.
That's great. Yes, that's great because from our next partner, the Polish company Sumin, from the Power of Abundance line, just like I said, I brought you, for example, some fertilizers. Soluble fertilizer for roses, look, you see? Soluble fertilizer for balcony plants. It works great for Surfinias, Supertunias, Supertunias. For Supertunias too. Here you go, thank you. And listen, because it's like this, a soluble fertilizer is a fertilizer. Plants grow, but sometimes certain deficiencies appear. So here I also have a set that will support your plants, for example, magnesium, for example, iron and all of that. I think it will work great in the garden. It will definitely come in handy. And you have to remember that, right? Yes. But we need to nourish our plants because just like we need nutrients, plants do too, so they can grow beautifully. Here you go.
Thank you.
Creating a garden is generally quite a complicated matter. Dividing the garden into zones is key once you have a general vision in mind. Tell me, what zones do you have in your garden? What are those flower beds? How would you divide them? Into what parts?
There are a few zones. The first one when we enter the garden is the front yard. Well, mostly evergreens. There we focused on plants like that, but ones that change texture, that change color. I have some thuja there, a bit trimmed by my husband, and larches that I added myself as well. What else do I have there? Probably boxwoods. Boxwoods, yes. Those 20-year-old ones, also trimmed by my husband.
Did you pick those plants for a reason? Based on what?
Well, because of the color and texture. I wanted there to be a lot going on. I like variety, and that's what we went for. From light, kind of greenish ones, going into a darker color and into blues.
And do they still work just as you intended? Or, I don't know, have they grown too much?
They have outgrown us, unfortunately.
Outgrown us? And what about the fact that they've grown so much?
A lot of work. Unfortunately, we have to limit them because we focused on trees above all. At first, it seems like they're small, not very big plants, but now they're already several meters tall and require us to prune and reshape them.
So you top them, you prune them because they take up, we shape them. Yes, they take up time.
Space. They take up space from other plants, and I can't bring in the ones he currently likes.
Exactly, because now you like different ones. As you mentioned off camera, back then it was basically whatever was available on the market, right? There were only evergreens and roses, and most gardens relied on that far too much.
There was a lot of choice. Now I just buy what's available. And since there's such a big selection, I'm introducing more and more of these plants into my garden. Thanks to that, I have several zones. There used to be a lot of lawn, but no, that's not really my thing. I went for flowers, meaning perennials, roses. I have over 50 roses, columbines, heucheras, hostas, daylilies for the garden.
Do you also have an area that's more drought resistant or not? I do.
On the south side, in the central part of the garden, I created a rock garden 2 years ago where I have house leeks, stone crops, and there are a few plants that enjoy.
I saw some heavyweights there. Cool.
Yes, I come closer, touch it, and there's a beautiful aroma, and you can use it in the kitchen.
Does it still work after 2 years? Yes. Do they survive the worst droughts?
Yes, they've grown. They're beautiful and they bring joy with their texture and color, but I'm adding more there.
Plants. And do you still plan to do anything else in the garden? Maybe expand some areas? Or for now, will you just focus on the areas you already have?
There are plans?
There are plans. There are plans. You know, in every garden, there are always a lot of plans, but there are also some failures. And in a moment, we'll talk about those failures. The topic of failures in the garden, I feel like that's always a never-ending topic. There are plenty, but we won't get into all that. We won't mention all the failures since we want a pleasant episode showing us in the garden, but we'll talk about this one. One that you think was really your failure in the garden. Can you find one for us?
Yes, that kind. I have a long-standing one.
Go ahead.
Ivy. I loved it because it's evergreen. I planted it along the fence because I didn't want to look at such a concrete wall. It grew beautifully, it was wonderful, but after 20 years it started to spread everywhere, creeping onto the lawn and flower beds, so my husband had to remove it.
Probably onto the trees too, because it can kill trees very quickly, so to speak.
Very quickly. At first I cared for it, but once it started growing...
So you're warning against having too much ivy, yes.
It's invasive, don't plant too much, just plant single ones you can actually keep under control. Keep under control.
Okay, so we have this failure, and that's very important. Let me know in the comments if you also have had any garden failures. What kinds of failures are those? It's helpful to hear about them so we can learn too, right? We're learning, yes.
What?
Listen, we've been walking around this garden and I've already noticed in a few places, and here I even crouched down to see the yellow ribbons on the trellises. What's that about?
I have a trick for aphids. The yellow color attracts ladybugs, and ladybugs eat aphids, so that's how I get rid of the intruders.
And the roses grow better then?
Right? Yes, they don't have those aphids on them. Aphids, and yes, they reward you with prettier blooms.
But you know, it's also a way of taking care of our garden in an ecological way, right? Nice.
I'll use chemicals later.
Yes, if you can't manage.
Yes, I might fail, but no, last year I used these ribbons and it was fine.
So the yellow ribbon attracts ladybugs and ladybugs eat aphids. Did you know that? Let me know. You mentioned that you want to change something in the garden, so my question is, what is the main thing that's on your mind right now?
Yes, it's on my mind. Please give me some advice. In this area, this pot is more like a terrace. In my opinion, not enough is going on.
You enjoy when things are different?
Yes, I want change. There hasn't been any change in this area for 15 years, and I would change something.
Please advise. I see that some elements from Southern Europe are appearing here, yes? So maybe add some color here, maybe hang some elements, maybe some mirrors, because I see you like mirrors since you have them too, yes.
Yes, they make the space look bigger.
They make the space look bigger, great. Or maybe the viewers will give us a hint. Yes, listen, look at this area here. We're showing you this area here. Yes, give us some advice. Maybe Marlena will get inspired, and when we come back in 2 months, there will be a complete makeover here. Of course, I don't expect it, but it might happen.
Maybe something will happen. Please suggest some ideas.
So write in the comments what you would change here to really improve this area.
Came to life?
Came to life. Folks, we're almost at the end. You've seen most of the garden, but we've saved a bit for our next visit. You'll still see some in the cutaways, but this year I decided that before we leave, I'll ask the participants some quick questions, and this is the moment. Marlena, first question, roses or hydrangeas?
Roses. I love roses, but I like hydrangeas too. I have quite a few in my garden.
Question number 2, a perfectly trimmed lawn or maybe a wildflower meadow?
I go for flowers. A wildflower meadow. Too much work with the lawn.
That's a tough question, but automatic garden irrigation or maybe running around with that garden hose?
I run because I like it. I always take a look at my flower beds here and check if everything is okay, or if maybe something needs to be fixed or taken care of.
Running around with the hose, yes?
I go for that because then I'm taking care of the garden.
Next question, working in the garden at 6 a.m. or is 9 p.m. actually a better time?
I'm an early bird.
So in the morning, that's when I get things done. Great. Morning team, me too.
There's more energy in the morning.
A minimalist garden, modern, or maybe that kind of controlled chaos in the garden?
Chaos, but not uncontrolled. just like you can see in my perennial and flower beds with chaos.
Great, me too. Team Chaos. Marlena, it was great to visit you. Thank you so much for showing us your whole garden, but I guess not the whole thing.
No, you didn't see all the zones.
We left something for August. You're welcome to come. See you in August. Yes. And now, listen, we're going to run and take some photos and shots because the light, it's golden hour right now, and that's the most important thing, to get nice shots. Remember to write if you like this garden. And also follow Marlena on her YouTube channel. You're welcome. Hosta Hortus.
Hosta Hortus.
Bye.
Hi.